It's hot. Hello everybody, it is hot and welcome back to the United Stand Chart Show. Smash it! We're there. It's a crack. I'm back. I'm standing on the rooftop. Shout it out, baby, I'm ready to go. I'm back. I'm ready to go. What is it if you don't know what it is? It's basic. Think Top of the Pops with Manchester United, but a United fan channel counting down the top 10 players of the week. And look, if you don't remember what the top 10 was before lockdown, because we always give credit, it's very difficult to go from number 1 out of the top 10. It's a bit like the charts, you know, you've got to gradually move up, unless you're a new entry. Well, I can tell you this week, we have got 4 new entries and 4 people dropping out of the top 10 altogether. But our last top 10 before lockdown, at number 10 was Scott McTominay, at number 9 was Dan James, at number 8 Anthony Marcial, at number 7 Harry Maguire, at number 6, I forgot my numbers, Igalo, at number 5 Fred, at number 4 Fernandez, at number 3 Aaron Wan-Bissaka, at number 2 Nemanja Matich, and at number 1 for his second week in a row was Luke Shaw. We've had 3 months off. We've had 2 games, a draw against Spurs and a win against Sheffield United. And I tell you what, we are now ready to go with our new top 10 this week. And all I want to say is, don't look back in anger. I heard you say yes. We'll do a bit of singing as well. But in at number 10, you can dance, you can dine, having the time of your life. Ooh, it's Lindelof. It's a bit of ABBA, Swedish, you see. And Lindelof in at number 10. Lindelof this season for me has had a seriously good season. I think he doesn't get the credit that he probably deserves because Harry Maguire's the captain. Harry Maguire cost £80 million. And look, even I say it, I don't think Maguire and Lindelof as a partnership will win a title. And in these days where Liverpool would have won a title, you have to address these things. But it doesn't take away from the fact that, we need a bit of pace in those 2 centre-back positions, but it doesn't take away the fact that Lindelof has done well this season. And I think in the last 2 games against Spurs and against Sheffield United, look, maybe it's a sign of the times that it's hard to get people into the top 10 because we've only had 6 or 7 really good players. But Lindelof's been steady. Lindelof gets in at number 10. In at number 9 is, I can't remember who number 9 is. Harry Maguire, I get knocked down, but I get up again. I ain't never gonna keep me down. That sounded a bit like country songs, didn't it? But Harry Maguire, captain of Manchester United, in at number 9, stinking mistake, and then he said something else that stinks then, against Spurs, cost us a goal. But actually, when you look at his overall game against Spurs, it wasn't terrible, and neither was Lindelof's. It was just that one incident that really let us down because they dominated Harry Kane. There wasn't many chances. They did bring the ball out back from the back well. And against Sheffield United, they never really gave them a sniff either. So that mistake by Harry Maguire was a bad one. I'm sure he will learn from it. Number 9, Harry Maguire this week. That's where you are. Now, let me just say this as well. Harry Maguire was number 7, so he's dropped down 2 places to number 9. I need to get back into the swing of this. And Lindelof was a new entry. Another new entry in at number 8 is stronger, fitter, faster, whatever. It's Mason Greenwood. It's Mason Greenwood in the house. He's in at number 8. He's a new entry. Again, probably a sign of the times that there's not loads of players that played brilliant in the last 2 games. But I think Mason Greenwood, he came on against Spurs, did a really good job on the right wing, comparable to Dan James, who I can tell you, and I don't think it's a surprise, Dan James in the last top 10 was number 9. He's one of the people who are not in the top 10 this week. So Mason Greenwood came on, and then I think against Sheffield United, he looked dangerous. You know, he's still only just 18 years of age, and some people maybe forget that. He's, certainly decent performances in both the times we've seen him, and maybe he's a first team starter now on that right wing until we sign Sancho. So well done to Dan James. Not Dan James, Mason Greenwood. You're in at number 8. In at number 7, another new entry, Marcus Rashford. Of course, he had a bad back when we even kicked off the chart show back in February. He's never been in a top 10 because we couldn't put him in the top 10 because he had a bad back. He's got a better back now, and he's back. He's back and he's ready to go. He's in at number 7. Marcus Rashford, number 7. He isn't our number 7. I don't think he ever should be our number 7 because I don't think number 7 suits Marcus Rashford. But Marcus Rashford is in at number 7. 2 assists against Sheffield United. And I think, actually, if he was a bit sharper, he probably would have had 3 goals. A couple against Spurs, certainly one or two maybe against Sheffield United. So I mean, he's doing a lot of things right, Rashford. He's link-up play, he's making the right runs, he's getting in the right positions. He's just not match sharp, and I think that's because he's had a bad back. But he is back, and he's going to get back to being better. So Marcus Rashford in at number 7, another new entry, but he's not the highest new entry of the week. We've still got one more new entry coming in, and I think a lot of people know it's going to be, but I'm not going to ruin it for you. Number 6, Luke Shaw. Sinking like the Titanic, really, because he was number 1 for 2 weeks in a row. So a bit like the Titanic, he's sunk down to number 6, but that's more to do with the quality of the players that are in the top 5. I don't think Luke Shaw's done anything wrong. And I just want to say to Luke Shaw, every night in my dreams. No, let's not go down that road. I just like Luke Shaw. I think he's a good player. And he deserved to be top of this charts for those 2 weeks because he was fantastic. He has been very good the last 2 games. He wasn't at fault for the goals against Spurs. He wasn't at fault because people can't figure out who Bergwijn and Aurier are. I saw people on Twitter saying he was out of position. He kept leaving Bergwijn free. It was Aurier who was getting forward as right back. That's the right back. It's not the left back's job. And the left wing, we didn't have a left winger, so he did get double teams against Spurs, but he still had a good game. He needs to add assists to his game, but I still think he's done his job. He pressed forward like Wan-Bissaka did against Sheffield United, and he had a good game. So Luke Shaw is in at number 6 for me. Number 5, our highest new entry of the week, and it is Paul Pogba. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that he got us the point against Spurs. Man of the match performance against Spurs. Could have had 2 assists, got the penalty, took hold of the game, been out for most of the season, showed his quality in that Spurs game. And then in the Sheffield United game, to a lesser extent, he didn't hit those man of the match heights, but he still had a very good game. I think he's still feeling his way into football as well, but is making major impacts when he does it. So fantastic to have Paul Pogba back, and fantastic to have him as our highest new entry of the week. Paul Pogba in at number 5. He's one to watch. He's one that next Saturday I expect to go up, not down. Although, you know, Brighton, maybe Norwich will play against them as well. These are the games where Pogba can go missing, but I think we're going to see a brand new Paul Pogba. So brand new Paul Pogba in at number 5, our highest new entry of the week, as we move into our top 5, but we already moved into top 5 because obviously Pogba's number 5. I forgot that. I'll get better. Don't worry about that. In at number 4 this week, I've forgotten myself. Well, look, it's this man. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun is for hire, even if you're just dancing in the dark. Do, 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 do. Classic Springsteen. And I think that's the sort of music that Bruno probably listens to walking around his house. And why do I think he's walking around his house listening to Can't Start a Fire by Bruce Springsteen in leopard print pants? I don't know. It's that's just the way Bruno rolls. But you can't start a fire without a spark. And Bruno Fernandez has been that spark to start the fire that was the dark of Manchester United when he came in at the end of January. And I think he has been the catalyst, the fire starter. I'm the fire starter. No, I'm not going to do that. No, but he has. And he's in at number 4. I think last one, Bruno was actually... he was number 4 last time, so he's held on to his spot, Bruno Fernandez. He was in at number 4. I don't think he was fantastic against Sheffield United. I don't think he was fantastic against Spurs, but he got the penalty against Spurs. And, you know, I think he's playing very well. I think he can do better. I think Pogba can do better, but certainly belongs in the top 5 for Manchester United, and that is where Bruno Fernandez resides. Number 4, Bruno Fernandez, and another player that I think with Pogba will be knocking on the door of the top 3. 3 little pigs, can we come in? You know, are they going to be the Wolves of Old Trafford Street moving in to take the top 3 spots and blow them away? But don't eat them. I like the 3 little pigs story where he doesn't eat them and they all run off to each house, and then the 3 brothers or girls. You know, let's be Equality Street here. The 3 little pigs do live on Equality Street. They all, you know, the house of straw gets blown down. He doesn't get eaten. He goes to his brother's house or sister's house. At the house of sticks, that gets blown over. They leg it to the other one's house, who's the house of bricks, and all 3 of them are there going, up yours, wolf, you're not getting in here. And the wolf doesn't get the number 1 spot. But anyway, in at number 3, and I'm not likening him to a pig. In at number 3 is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's always consistently been in the top 5 through all of our weeks so far, of which this is week 6. But he's always been in the top 5. He's been hovering around number 2 a couple of times. Back to number... He's a bit like that Bryan Adams song, isn't he? I forget it. Everything I do it for you. He just can't get him out of the top 5, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. In at number 3, totally and utterly justified. One of the best right-backs in the world. Defensively brilliant. I thought he was a bit dodgy against Spurs, but against Sheffield United, he could have had 2 assists. He did get 1, and that's what you want to see from your fullbacks. I think we all know Aaron Wan-Bissaka as a defender has no peer. He's brilliant as a right-back, but he's got to get more into his game. I thought against Spurs he was a bit, lacklustre going forward. Sheffield United, very good, provided the width, got the assist. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka deserving of number 3 in this week's chart. And I've not even shown him. That's really rude of me. I've not even put Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the screen. I've just left Bruno there because I love Bruno. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you deserve at least a few seconds for us to see you before we see the second one. Let's think of a song that we could do. You better get on your knees and pray. Panic is on the way. Well, it's not Panic that's on the way at number 2. I'm trying to think who number 2 is without looking at a bit of paper. I know who number 1 is. Who's number 2? Oh, I know who number 2 is. He's as cold as ice. He's willing to sacrifice. Yeah, it's Anthony Marcial in at number 2. Hat-trick hero of the week. Fantastic performance. A flawless performance against Sheffield United from Anthony Marcial. Missed a couple of chances against Spurs, and maybe that's why he's missed out on top position this week. But I feel Anthony Marcial can fire those goals in, get 20 Premier League goals between now and the end of the season. That would sit a lot of his haters down. Very, very close between Marcial and the number 1 this week. But I think for me, people will be stunned at what I've done here. Marcial, probably one of my favourite, well, he is my favourite player at Manchester United with Bruno Fernandez. To deprive him, number 1 this week in the United Stand chart show, for this guy, you've got to clip it. Nobody would have ever thought this. Ricky is absolutely ecstatic. He can't believe it. I've made his Saturday morning. It is the one and only. I can't find the picture. I've messed it up. I've messed it up. I've messed the picture up. I haven't really. The number 1 this week. It's my life and it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. It's Nemanja Matich in at number 1. He's done it. Retire, mate. You'll never do it again. I hope you do it again, by the way. Matic was a big game changer against Spurs, and that's why I gave it to him over Marcial, because for me, Marcial's hat-trick against Manchester United was fantastic, but it was almost they both deserved man of the match against that. So I went away from the Sheffield United game saying, well, they're equal. What did they do in the Spurs game? And Matic actually shaded it in the game that he came on. Him and Pogba changed that game. So I thought, without being biased, you've got to give it to Matic. So Matic is number 1. Number 1, top of the charts this week is Nemanja Matich. Well done. And that goes out to every other United player who's had a bit of stick, who people say you're not good enough, and you sat at home bumping your gums saying, oh, it's not fair, why do I get so much stick? Well, Matic had a lot of stick, and he's turned it around. He didn't prove people wrong, he turned it around. I think for most of 2019, he was bang average. Bag of cement, whatever you want. But I tell you what, he ain't a bag of cement now. He's top of the charts in the United Stand chart show. If you'd have said this to me in December time, I would have said, I don't believe you. And that I wouldn't have done anything drastic. I just would have said, I don't believe you. Well, he is, and he deserves it. So well done to Nemanja Matich. You are this week's number 1, and you totally do deserve it. And Ricky, well, you know what? This show's dedicated to you, I suppose, because Nemanja Matich is not. Can't put Mata in. Don't get greedy. I'm not putting Mata in. He's not. Has Mata even played? I think he did come on for a few minutes against Sheffield United. But Nemanja Matich is our number 1. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm so pleased to have the chart show back. I don't know whether it's just me who enjoys this, but if you do enjoy it, smash a like, subscribe on the video, get your comments in below. I'm sure you will have a few comments. I'm sure there will be a few positions there you're not happy with. But another chart show done. It's great to have it back. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.